Well, hello everyone. Thank you for watching today. We're so glad that you are with us. We have an eye-opener program, and we want the theme to be Crime Pays. We have just witnessed more lawlessness in the high places in our government. And let me say once again, when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. And mourning is what this nation is doing. Everyone. I have never seen so many Americans so insecure, so impoverished, so threatened, so divided, so distrusting, and so stressed. Why? Why? We must ask, and we must ask it now. I'm going to answer that question today, and I just want you to know that my ministry, our intercessors, all of our viewers and partners, we grieve for all of the lost of life in this nation. And we must get to the root of the problem. That also includes the loss of the life of the unborn who are not allowed to take their first breath at the hands of men and women who have totally has disrespect for the child in a mother's womb. Everyone is hurting. If you're not hurting, you're out of touch with what's going on in reality. You call your friends and tell them Faye is on. We are going to find out some facts that will wake you up and also get you back on track as an American, seeing through the propaganda, seeing through the maze, seeing through the lies. I am Faye Hardin, and this is Well, welcome back, everyone. We have an unbelievably powerful program today, but I want to remind you that we have found a home for our the Insights Patriotic Prayer Leadership Summit, honoring the Huguenot descendants and having a memorial banquet in the memory of the first believers that were massacred in this nation, that actually colonized in America and were murdered because they believed in the living God. They believed in the freedom to worship God and read the Bible for themselves. And the happenings were in Jacksonville and St. Augustine, Florida. We're going back to redeem that land. Our new home is at the beautiful Marriott in St. Augustine, and it is the World Golf Village Marriott, one of the most beautiful hotels in Florida, resorts actually, and we want you to come August 11th through the 13th. I'll be talking a little bit more about it, but you can still register on insightUSA.us. Give me a call, email me and say, Faye, I'm a prayer warrior. We've got to break the power of the spirit of death over this country, and we're closing the gate of the first welcoming power to kill believers that dedicated America to God. The first believers that dedicated and prayed and made a covenant with God that America would belong to Him. You're finding ways in your life that's not working out for you. You can't get the victory. You can't get answered prayers. You can't get healed. You can't get breakthrough in your finances. You can't come out of the abyss that you've gotten yourself in. That's because there's a hovering spirit of wickedness over our nation, caused by political pundits, and it goes back to to the beginning of America. We're going to break that power. We're going to bind those lies. You need right now to come to St. Augustine, August 11th through the 13th, to our prayer summit. We're going on site. We're going to redeem the land. We're going to break the curses, not only over the land, push the spirit of death back, expose the devil for who he is, but we're going to bring America's true foundation back to the hearts and minds of the people in this country. Don't miss it. Today, again, we must understand what the facts are in order to find peace. They are vital to our national security and our safety. Our face facts is in demand. Our viewers are asking for them, even asking for them in literally, we're sending multiple copies all over America to prayer leaders, ministries, and churches, because when they hand somebody a face facts, our leaders are handing the face facts to liberals, especially in the state of Florida, since we're going to have our major meeting here, and they're saying, why don't we know this information? I'm not spreading rumors. I'm not causing and calling for discord, but I've never seen America in a greater hurt than it is right now. Everybody is being used and abused, and the twisting of the truth, it is what's bringing so much chaos and strife and even death. So before we go into our subject, I want to remind you, I'm so thrilled that we now have our television programs, and people are going there to Insight USA on YouTube, Insight USA, and these programs are archived. So if you see a program, say, "Ooh, I wish my friends could see it. I wish I'd told them," they can see it on YouTube. Also, they can see it on insightUSA.us. It streams on our website. Pass the word. The more people that understand that we are in a spiritual battle, the more people that understand not only Christians are being deceived, but non-Christians are being deceived. Not only are our African Americans being totally deceived, Hispanics totally deceived, and I hate hyphenated Americans. I despise it. When you come into this country and you want to be a part of this country, you are an American. There should be an absorption process. In Israel, we have helped bring Jews from all over the world to Israel to make Aliyah and make Israel their home. They go through a 4-month absorption process. They understand the language. They understand, and they're aided in getting employment, that they don't become a ward of the state. We have no such thing in this country. Our politicians have brought us to a hub, an abyss of absolute destruction. And we, the people, must stand up and take note. I want to thank all of our new partners. We have some wonderful new partners that are working from coast to coast on our behalf to help bring in a benefactor, to help bring in the funding and financing we need to put us in a position that we have the access to the people with this message that we need. I really, really appreciate it. We could take this program from these studios because of the quality of our broadcast. We could take it nationwide and worldwide on a regular broadcast network without leaving where we are now. We just need a benefactor. We need sponsors that care enough about America to get the actual truth to everybody, unbiased, with love and with caring for all of America. I care for all of America. Due to the recent events and to the media's cover-up of the truth, especially where civil rights is concerned, what we have is uncivil rights at the time. The racial tensions are higher than they've been since before Martin Luther King. I am very concerned about our African Americans being used and exploited by the people who call themselves civil rights leaders, including the president, including his former attorney general, the present attorney general, the Homeland Security Secretary, and the Republican Congress that funds what is taking place in our country. It is a disgrace. I want you to look today at what we are actually up against. The media won't tell you this. There's a few programmers on Fox News that bring out the subject, but they don't prey on it out of fear of retaliation, out of fear of being threatened, lives being threatened. And that's where we've come to as a people. I am so active in my community. I love where I live. I go to the same grocery store. I go to the same dry cleaners. My production studios is 10 minutes from my home. My post office, 10 minutes from my home. Actually, my offices, I have a place that half of where I live, half, actually 2/3, is where my offices, my headquarters are. The other half I've made into my own dwelling for right now, for more convenience for me, and saving a lot of money. However, I don't see the animosity. I don't see the betrayal. I don't see the hatred anywhere I go. And we know, Florida is one of them, has absorbed more illegals, probably because of Rubio and Jay Johnson. In South Florida, it's like a third world country. Hardly anybody speaks English. Most of them on government payroll. It's not here. And there's a reason it's not here. And we're going to look in just a moment exactly what we're up against. And I know my viewers can handle it. I've got the greatest television audience in America. We are eagles, and we are soaring, and we're seeking the truth. I'll be right back. Hi, I'm Faye Hardy, and I want to invite you to join my campaign, 10 to Win. That means $10 on InsightUSA.us to get the 10 Commandments back in America and for women in Christ rights. We have a leader and a potential president, Hillary Clinton, who does not represent the women in Christ in this nation. Our rights are not being represented, and we must confront this message. Hillary Clinton, Christians in America must deny their faith. Hillary Clinton now wants to enforce churches to accept homosexuality and conduct gay rights. She's not a role model for women in Christ. Will you go right now to Insight USA or mail a check for $10 and help this message get out? We can confront the feminist. Well, welcome back. I want to quickly go to what we're really facing today, but I need, if you do not get your weekly Face Facts, this is what it looks like. This is one of the ones I just did, and you can see where I was celebrating the 4th of July. I watched the fireworks in New York, and they were so beautiful, and I was so thankful that we made it through the 4th of July to be able to celebrate America's birthday without a terrorist attack, and I was just thanking God for that. And it didn't last long, though. In this particular Face Facts, I had to deal with 5 Dallas police officers needlessly being murdered. Almost, I was actually turning channels when I realized this was going on live, and so I stayed with it. It was with the Kelly file, and you know how I feel about Megyn Kelly. I don't have to tell everybody that. I don't watch her because I tell people, if you don't like me, don't watch me. So, but she happened to be hosting during the time of the murders of these police and the riots that were taking place. Actually, not riots. It was actually they call it a protest. That's protesters right in front of the police department, the Black Lives Matter, and I looked at this. I said, "Oh my Lord, what is taking place now?" Well, let me show you why we are experiencing these things, and people are ignoring the facts about how our nation literally has been taken over by rent-a-mobs and by organized mobs, with the head of the organization coming from the White House and the Justice Department. And I'm going to tell you a true story about that. But this is what we are dealing with. Our police are having to deal with this. The New Black Panthers is one of the organizations. The Black Lives Matter. And in this particular Faye's Facts, these are the chants. Black Lives Matter activist chants, pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. And they actually did those chants after the murder of police. And then the National Review shows Al Sharpton has been the White House guest 61 times. Someone else said he had been there 92 times, I saw. And he's one of the frequent visitors of the White House. And Al Sharpton, according to Fox News, Al Sharpton led protesters calling for the death of cops and calling to kill cops. And then we've got the New Black Panther Party. You need to go to the New Black Panther Party website and see who the friends of Eric Holder, the president, and Loretta Lynch are, who have the freedom to go in and out of the White House, and you wonder why maniacs who use race as an excuse to murder. I happen to be on the front lines in one of the first events that was taking place with the it wasn't Black Lives Matter then, it was Eric Holder, Al Sharpton, and the New Black Panther Party. And I just want to read you, I went back to research because I knew I had done a report on it, December the 9th, 2014. So the Faye's Facts dated December the 9th, 2014. You can request and get it. This is a copy of the recent Faye's Facts. If you don't get our weekly Faye's Facts, you're really missing it, because it gives you the insight that there's not another ministry in America that gives you the details, the Bible study, and also the prayer points biblically based with names, pictures. In this week's Faye's Facts, I put the pictures of those in authority. And the races are divided more today than when before Martin Luther King paid the price. I said not only have these people sabotaged the U.S. Constitution, but they've sabotaged the life, the death, the sacrifice, and the message of Martin Luther King. You need to understand, this is not a race problem we're in. This is a God problem that we're in. And he says the evildoers he will deal with. But as long as you don't know the difference between good and evil, as long as our African Americans can be exploited, their tragedies can be exploited to further an agenda from hell, nothing is going to change. Somebody has got to deal with the truth. Let me just read you part of the December 9th, 2014 Faye's Facts. It says, the people have spoken. We elected Congress members who promised to uphold the U.S. Constitution, enforce federal laws, abolish Obamacare, and stop Obama's socialist transformation. But has the election driven out progressive Republicans who serve at the will of our socialist and leadership. I'm going to say that because I don't want to get in trouble. The Republican leadership continues to fund and protect the liberal, progressive agenda, unrestrained. We have seen another fast one pulled by our leadership. Even the best of the best don't see what is being done through the federal agencies to tear down our country and our lives. Just like vultures, they have been waiting for the moment to feed on a carcass. The police shooting of Michael Brown in Ferguson and the New York police choking death gave them the chance to attack. They have called on the mob organizers like Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, the New Black Panthers, the Nation of Islam, Louis Farrakhan, and CARE to incite violent riotings and looting in our streets. Look at the true motive behind these riots and the people involved. Now, I wrote this December the 9th, 2014, and it has the report, my personal experience with Trayvon Martin's death. And it was only 10 minutes from where I lived. I experienced the invasion of the New Black Panthers, the Nation of Islam, the Jesse Jackson mob, the Al Sharpton mob. We experienced it in the state of Florida, bussed in, and much of it funded by our Justice Department. At that time, the Attorney General, Eric Holder. Over 10,000, I believe, is what was brought here. Trayvon Martin's parents settled quickly, and the theme of my program was Crime Pays. Trayvon Martin's parents, wrongful death suit, the Homeowners Association, just within days, they settled with millions of dollars. April the 5th, 2013, and this was reported in the Orlando Sentinel by Renee Stutzman. Sanford, Trayvon Martin's parents, have settled a wrongful death claim for an amount thought to be more, and they wouldn't tell us how much more, over $1 million against the Homeowners Association of Sanford subdivision where their teenage son was killed. I want you to get the facts here because I put their pictures in here. They were brought to Central Florida. These two attorneys, their attorneys, Benjamin Crump, filed the paperwork at the Seminole County Courthouse, a portion of which was made public Friday in 5 pages of settlement that were available for public review. The settlement amount had been marked out. Lower in the agreements, the parties specified they would keep that amount confidential. A Trayvon Martin fashion statement. This is, do you feel George Zimmerman is a racist? Make a fashion statement. Let the world know how you feel. They begin to have the unrest in this state like you have never seen. The Black Panthers begin to mentor the young men, and they wanted these young men to become members of the Black Panther Party and the Nation of Islam. This is just the beginning of the marketing of the tragedy of young black men at the hands of police officers who think that they are in danger because of the black boys. It's a lucrative business, my friend. You need to know. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Hi, I don't want you to miss August 11th through the 13th in St. Augustine, Florida for our prayer summit. Sarah Ballinger with the Capitol Hill Prayer Partners will be our keynote speaker. We're bringing in the shofar man, Jim Barbarossa, and the shofars to cover the path of tears of the Huguenots. Don't miss this meeting. Make plans now. Say, Faye, I want to be an effective intercessor. I will be teaching intercessory prayer like you've never known, and we will be memorializing the Huguenots, the first Protestants in this country that were murdered because they would not bow to the one world religion. Don't miss St. Augustine. August 11th through the 13th. God said He would restore what Satan has stolen from us. Now is the time. I just want to show you how crime pays. The Trayvon Martin attorneys decided they needed a foundation to ensure justice. That foundation became a $5 million industry, including protest paraphernalia, hoodies, sweatshirts, bumper stickers. The law firm provided to be instrumental in establishing the Trayvon Martin Foundation with donations at that time to $5 million. None of this money went to help young black men that may not be misunderstood. I'm asking you today for support. I know that God can intervene. I know we can get into our inner cities and give people a lifeline. Will you today say, Faye, I'm going to partner with you? The Baltimore paid millions of dollars to the victim, another tragedy. Their family, friends, drug addicts, most of them, they're paying off. But the lawyers, Jesse Jackson, the new Black Panthers, are they splitting these major, huge lawsuits? And are the lawyers intact? And are they just watching? Are they ambulance chasers? And are our blacks, our African Americans, paying a high price because they do not know they're being exploited, not by the police, not by any white person that would get up today and say, I'm going to kill a black person today. Not any law enforcement would do that. You need to call the spade a spade. We need to let Washington know you are not going to exploit anybody in this country anymore to further your agenda from hell. Will you make that check today and say, Faye, I'm going to give you $50 a month. I'm going to write a check for $1,000. Host a table, $500 at our prayer summit in August. We're going to be going straight from August to Santa Fe, New Mexico to deal with the wrongdoing of another lies of the foundations of America. I believe that God can save America. Will you partner with me? Will you do it today?
Faye wants to hear from you. Her desire to see America come out of exile is raising up one of the most powerful, informed, anointed, and united prayer networks in America for America. She is organizing Christians for the U.S. Constitution to give uncompromising believers back their voice and witness. If this program has blessed you and you believe in what Faye is doing, contact her, pray with and for her, partner with her. She would love for you to host an Insight rally in your church or city. Organize an Intercessors with Insight prayer team or join one. For a complimentary pocket-sized constitution or Faye's fax, call or email Faye 407-265-0700 or faye.usainsight@gmail.com. Write Insight USA, P.O. Box 917689, Longwood, Florida 32791.